What's up guys? So for a change today, I'm not going to be doing a scripted video. That means I'm not going to be speaking in my really annoying monotone voice anymore. So yeah, enjoy the video. Hey guys, so for those of you who don't know, this is the Arcane Lineage roadmap for all the future updates. And now it is pinned in the announcements channel, but there's a surprising amount of people who haven't seen it before. And they're always asking like, oh, when's the next update? When's the next content update gonna be? So yeah, here it is. So I'm just gonna go over the first part really quickly. So for the version 1.1 update, which is the one that's coming up, there's going to be the Metrom's Vessel Raid, 4 new super classes, more scrolls, artifacts, and enchants. Now what this means is, I've seen Nova say that the Metron's Vessel Raid is going to be harder than both of the bosses, so it's probably going to be like something like maybe climbing a tower or going through a dungeon and fighting a lot of enemies. So maybe like a wave-based enemy thing. I'm not really sure about that, but Metrom I think is one of the gods in the lore or something like that, because there's an artifact named after him, right? Metrom's amulet. So I'm assuming that's what it is. The 4 new super classes, actually, they're going to be the neutral super classes. From what I've seen, there's only sorry about that, but from what I've seen, there's only one super class so far that's finished, and it's the neutral spear class, and it's like some dude wielding a spear and a shield. So maybe it's going to be like Paladin, maybe it's going to be a tank, I'm not really sure about that. And the final one, more scrolls, artifacts, and enchantments, self-explanatory. I really hope they do add more lost scrolls though, because right now the only lost scroll in the game is a support spell, which is a little bit annoying because, like, you know, if you want to go Elementalist and Necro, then you don't really have an option right there. So the next two things are the Dark and Light update and the PvP update. Now the PvP update isn't guaranteed, so I'll just talk about that later after I talk about this thing. So the Dark and Light update are going to add 2 new covenants, the Church of Raphion, and the Cult of Thanasius. Now what I'm assuming these two are covenants for orderly and chaotic, because church sounds like orderly and cult sounds like chaotic. Now what they'll actually do, like the benefits, I'm not really sure about, but I think it'll probably be something related to like maybe orderly potions being easier to make, or having more orderly quests that are repeatable, something like that. Same for the chaotic quests. And then there's going to be 2 new obtainable races. Now this one's interesting because right now, from what I've seen, there's 2 unobtainable races. There's the one with Gate, and there's like the Lightborn race. Now both of these I'm pretty sure were only given out for testers as some sort of giveaway during the testing phase of the game. So when these 2 new obtainable races come out, I think there's a really good chance that they're going to be these 2 ones, the Gate race and the Lightborn race. So that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that because I'm really tired of playing on the same old races and having like 1% Dualahan that I can't get. Anyways, the next one is going to be new enchantments and more. So basically same thing, just content updates like this. So now onto the PvP update. It's going to add the Ziggurat, a PvP arena with rewards, elo matchmaking, and special titles to earn. In other words, it's Chime of Conflict from Deepwoken. Now this isn't guaranteed, and this is like my message to you guys. Please don't make the PvP update happen. I know everybody wants to have PvP in a permadeath game, but this game is just not designed for it. The current duel system is super buggy, and the entire game will have to be rebalanced around PvP. Because if you think about it, you have builds that usually have 120 to 140 HP at max level, but then you have people doing upwards of 300 damage per hit. That's insanely hard to balance, because then you would have to lower all of the enemy health and all of the boss health and everything else related to health and HP scaling. So it's just really weird how the devs think that a PvP arena is going to be a good idea for this game. Now, earnable titles will be pretty cool. That isn't locked behind like the Venerian Prince or like the Tinker or stuff like that. But PvP in general isn't going to be good for this game in my opinion. So the next update is going to be the Tundra update. Now this is the one I'm looking the most forward to, because this is going to be the one that adds 2 new ultras for all weapon types. Now what this means is that for those of you who've played Rogue Lineage, it's the same system. So after your base class and your super class, depending on your alignment, you can go your ultra class. Now ultra classes typically have a different weapon and a different armor set, much like super classes, but they also have a quest. At least how that's worked. That's how that worked in Rogue Lineage. So, for example, in Rogue Lineage, you would have to defeat like a certain monster and give its drop to the trainer, or you would have to grip a certain amount of players or something like that. But in this game, I'm not sure how quests are going to work. Maybe it's going to be like a similar thing to Rogue, where you have to turn in like a bounty, or you have to turn in like a monster part or something like that. But I'm really looking forward to that, because Ultra Classes should be the last stage of progression in this game. So after Ultra Classes are added, that should be it. So once you get Ultra, you're maxed out. Now there's going to be the Tundra biome, which is all where the Ultras are all going to be located. So in Rogue Lineage, there was a temperature system in the Tundra biome. And I'm not sure, and since this game is heavily inspired by Rogue Lineage, I'm not sure if the Tundra is going to have something like that. If it is, it's going to be very, very annoying, but I don't think it would. But anyways, the Tundra biome is going to be where all the Ultra class trainers are going to be. Now what this means is it's basically just another area like the desert or the deep forest, because desert has all the orderly super classes and the deep forest has all the chaotic ones. The Tundra is just going to have all of the Ultra classes, orderly and chaotic, I assume. So the Hands of the Hero Covenant, I honestly have no clue what this is going to be. It sounds like maybe you'll be able to do like heroic tasks or like accomplishments, maybe like defeat Yarthol, like save a princess or something, and get rewards based on that, but I have no clue. The final thing in this update is going to be the new raid. So new raid, same thing as Metrom's Vessel, it's just not named, probably not in development either. So the next one is going to be the Caves update. Now this is going to be another area update. It's going to add the Caves biome and also one new Ultra, which is interesting, because most of the time in games like Rogue Lineage or Arcane Lineage, there's usually only 2 Ultra classes for each super. Why that is because each weapon type has orderly and chaotic. So depending on which path you go down, there's only one set of classes you can go. So by adding one new Ultra, I'm assuming they're going to add a neutral alignment Ultra. Now that wouldn't really make sense, because if they were to add the neutral class supers, then I guess they should be able to obtain Ultra class during the Tundra update. And if that isn't the case, which I assume this is what it's talking about, it's going to add the one new Ultra for all of the super classes that are going to be added that are neutral alignment. Which is annoying, because if you go that class, I guess you're stuck as a super class for another update. Then there's going to be a new progression mechanic, which this is interesting because currently the progression in the game feels super simple and also very easy. It's really linear as well because it's an RPG. That's just how RPGs are. You get encounters, you smack people with your sword, and then you get EXP, you level up, you do your stats, and then you rinse and repeat. Now, what this new progression mechanic will be, I'm not sure. Maybe it's tied to PvP, where you can progress by PvPing. Maybe it's going to be something like another hidden mode, where it's harder than Legendary, but even greater risk and reward, or something like that. I'm not completely sure. Now, the next 2 things are just content updates, a new raid, and new enchantments, scrolls, and more. And the final update on this roadmap, I don't think this game will stop getting updated if it's still like 8k players by this time, but there's a great chance that the game will be down to maybe a few hundred players by the time this update comes out if all of these go wrong. This update might not even come to fruition. You know what? None of these might. But this one is the corruption update. It's going to be the final boss of the first continent, which is interesting because I didn't know that this game was going to have multiple continents. So if there's going to be multiple continents, it might be like a Deep Ocean where each continent is going to be a different server, which is going to be good for lag, but I'm kind of concerned because I'm not even sure if this game is going to make it to this stage. The corruption biome, right? So corruption, what I think it'll be like is, if any of you guys have played Terraria, the purple corruption biome from Terraria is, I think, what they're going for here. It might be also like the crimson biome from Terraria, where it's like a red, like meaty mass of like creatures. But it's gonna be an evil biome, presumably. Maybe it has something to do with the cult of Thanasius, who knows? And then new content, of course. So that means new enchantments, scrolls, and like new raids and stuff like that. Oh, right, yeah, that's here. The continent number 1, the Astora continent. So there's definitely more continents in this game, and yeah, that's about it. This is the end of the video. Just want to thank you guys for sitting through all my rambling. Sorry about that. I like to stutter sometimes. I talk too fast a little. It's all very new to me because I used to just do text overlay videos. I never really scripted my stuff, and this is my first time doing a non-scripted video. So I hope I didn't talk for too long. But yeah, that's the Arcane Lineage roadmap. Thanks for watching.